everyone! Okay, so the sun is doing weird things, but that's fine. I am back again after a unexpected, unplanned hiatus of, what is it, about a month, a little over a month? Yeah. I took a necessary break because I discovered that I was, let me just say, the PC was doing a number on my body, and I have done too much apparently in the last weeks or the last month, while I was live streaming and doing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that was it. And then my body was like, yeah, I don't really agree with that. So I had brain fog and I couldn't concentrate, couldn't focus, and had all kinds of physical problems as well. So I took a necessary break, and now I'm back, but with a heavily adjusted schedule. So instead of my four live streams per week, I'm now going to do 2 live streams on Monday and Thursday. And you might think, but Ilse, it's Wednesday today. Yes, today is an exception because today is the 1st of April, which means the Golden Quill Month has started. And I thought it would be fun to kick it off with you guys. So instead of tomorrow, I'm live streaming today, and next week I will do the live streams on Monday and Thursday. And I will do the live streams at 1:30 p.m. my time. That's Central European summertime, as we went into summertime this weekend. So yeah, that's also something. And let me add that to the questions. Maybe it should update, but I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. So one of the questions that you can answer is, does your world have something similar to summertime and wintertime? And if so, what is the effect on your characters? So we'll see. So let me know how that goes for your characters. 1 minute, the bell is ringing. Sorry, ik zit in een meeting. Kijk wat even. Ik zal het heel kort houden. Nee, ik zit in een meeting. My apologies, you may have heard me mumbling a bit. There was just someone who wanted to sell something, let's just put it at that. And he didn't want to understand that I was doing something with you guys. I hate it when they don't want to listen. I mean, I just said, oh, I thought you were someone else, so no, I have no time. But, no. So I just closed the door on him. He didn't like that, but I don't care. So, back to the subject at hand, summertime and wintertime. Here in the Netherlands, and here in Europe, I should say, we just went to summertime last weekend. And, you know, I watched a video from, I can't remember her name. Let me look it up. Maybe I can find it. Because it was a very interesting video, I should say. And in that video, she's a scientist. And in that video, she explained what the consequences are of that changing time. And she also looked into the history of us changing time. Yeah, it's Freya squared. She's a math professor. Hannah Fry. That's it, Hannah Fry. She's a math professor at Cambridge University, and she looked into how we came to making that change from wintertime to summertime and summertime to wintertime, and also what the effects are on our body and on the community as a whole. Let me give you guys, it's a short, so let me give you guys the link to that in the chat, and I will also post it later on in the show notes if I do remember that. If I haven't done that, please remind me of that, and I will do it. I will do it later. So it has quite an effect on people. And I won't get into the details because Hannah can explain it much better than I can, so I will leave that up to her. But I would like you to watch that short and think about the consequences of the change in summertime, the change to summertime or to wintertime for your characters and for your world. What does it do to your characters? In Tergne, they don't really have that concept. They just don't do that. So that's quite easy. That's handy. They didn't need to do that. And I personally think that's for the best. But you know, we'll see how it goes. I do know that here in Europe, the majority of the people voted to end that system and to just have one time and be done with it. But yeah, that still has not been implemented. So I really hope that they will do that at one point. And I know there are people who say, oh, we should stick to summertime. And others say, no, we should stick to wintertime. So I'm saying, you know what? Either in next autumn, go back half an hour. Or next year in spring, go forward half an hour. And then both the people from the summer who prefer the summertime and the people who prefer the wintertime will have partially gotten their wish and will be done with it. And then it's just no more changes of time. And you know what? Less risk of a lot of things, as Hannah can explain. So be sure to check her out, to check her video out afterwards. Now, what more is going to change? Let me think that I say that correctly. So, like I said, I am going to change my schedule from 4 live streams to 2 live streams per week, Monday and Thursday. I'm doing that at 1:30 p.m. Central European Time. Of course, like usual, my live streams will remain on my channel just indefinitely, so you can watch afterwards, no problem. And hopefully that will help me find a better balance with my energy and other things to help me. No, how should I say that? So that I can get a better balance and keep on working on Go Fly and the main Tergne Chronicle series and the other series that I have planned. But not only that, but also it will help me, hopefully. One moment. So that sneeze didn't want to come. Hopefully it will also help me get into a groove, so to say, of making more videos with sharing more about Tergne. And of course the Indie Author News Show, which we will do, we being Hala and me, bi-weekly, and bi-weekly in this case means every 2 weeks. So Hala and I looked into that term, And apparently, bi-weekly can be used in 2 ways to make it easy on you. Bi-weekly is either every 2 weeks or twice a week. So yeah, that's, I mean, the logic of the English language. Yeah, that's not, no. So, but bi-weekly in this case, every 2 weeks you will have a new edition of the Indie Author News Show. And this week we will have a new edition. If all goes well, it will be published Friday. And one of the authors who will be featured is Marie Mullaney from Just in Time World Building. I've had a lovely interview with her about her newest book, World Building Wow, words are hard. World Building Blueprints. So I'm very eager to share that all with you. And we've got other book releases as well from Rach D. Adams and Dawn McClellan, and writing events to share with you. So keep an eye on the channel so that you are notified when the next edition of the Indie Author News Show goes live. And if you have news of your own, submit it through the form that's linked in the show notes below. So, what more can I share? I've been working on the video about the flutter nymphs. That's gonna be a long video. Be prepared, it's probably around 1.5 hours, but it's worth it. It was so much fun to work with it, to work with Andy on it, and I'm very happy to share it with you all. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So keep an eye on that for next week. And other things, there are loads of things coming up. And yeah, that's it. So let's get into things right now. Today is going to be a writing session, productivity session, co-working session, however you want to call it. I will be working on one of the videos I just talked about, and that's it. I'm not going to write in Go Fly because I want to finish these videos first this week, and then I'm going to return to Go Fly again. I have to say that despite me not being able to work actively on Go Fly, as in putting words in a manuscript, there's one little tidbit of news that I can give you guys. And that is that in Go Fly, we have a few main characters of other series showing up. So we have, well, one you already knew, Zan, who is the main character in The Confectioner's Journey, the male lead, I should say. The female lead will also show up, albeit in a small role in Go Fly. And also the female lead of The Ways of the Courtesans will also show up in Go Fly. The male lead at that point in time is somewhere outside Dragon City on missions and training, so he won't show up in Go Fly. That is to say, as long as he's doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, you know, my characters sometimes have a mind of their own and go against what we agreed upon. So there's that. But so far, as everything seems to go, he's still outside of Dragon City, so he won't be making an appearance in Go Fly. So you will see him in the later books. Do I have other news? Not that I can think of right now. So I wish you all a wonderful session, and let's go into our creative session of today. There we go. Have fun and see you in 60 minutes. And that is the end of our creative session. How did it go for you all? I have to say, I'm pretty satisfied with the result for today. I worked some more on the flat nymph video, which was a good thing, and I just now realized that things are a bit dark here, so let me turn on some lights before we move on. Well, that's better. I hadn't realized it had gotten so dark already. So yeah, how did it go? For me, I was working on the flat nymph video. I realized that while I had been recording, the part that I did myself, not the part where I interviewed Andy, but the part before that where I explain what the flat nymph precisely is and who Riri is. I realized that while I had been recording that things were more chaotic and it didn't flow and such. So when I was looking at that video a little while ago, I decided that I couldn't do it that way. So I've been working on the script, and I feel that it's better now. So that's a good thing. I'll have some details to do, but once that's finished, then I can re-record all of that, and then I can finish editing the video. So let me check in with the chat. For one thing I want to say beforehand, my apologies to everyone on Twitch, because right now for some reason the chat overlay doesn't work, so I can't show you guys the full chat. My apologies for that. I have no idea why that is, so that's something I will look into before my next live stream before Monday. So hopefully I can get it fixed by then. So let's take a look at the chat. Okay, Dida, welcome in. You said you're starting up about 35 minutes or more behind. So you're out of sync with the live stream. Oh, that's okay, no problem. I'm happy to see you here. Summer, winter time, let's just get rid of that BS. You just get a headache from the whole thing, and PLS half hours are dumber than anything else. But it would be only once. I mean, just once, not more. Just once to get it out of our systems and then be done with it. And then, I mean, both the summer people and the winter people would be partially satisfied. I know, not fully satisfied, but at least they would both be partially satisfied, and then we would be done with it. No more time changes, because it's just ludicrous that we still do that while the original idea was just, I mean, it's not valid anymore. And like I said, it has way too many risks, which Hannah Fry explained perfectly based on several research reports. So go check out that video as well. And thank you so much, Tita. I'm happy to be back with you all. It's been a while and I missed you all. But yeah, as it turned out, I just needed it. And I didn't expect it to take that long. That I didn't expect that relapse to be Well, I mean, it wasn't as big of a relapse as it was about 2 years ago when I really had to quit my job and I really couldn't do anything anymore. But this really did a number on my brain and partially on my physique. So, yeah, it just didn't work. And I'm happy that I'm on demand. I'm not completely there yet, but at least it's a lot better than it was about a month ago, so that's a good thing. So I'm very happy to be back. Published with Andy, thank you for swinging by. Thank you so much for stopping in. I hope everything is going well with you. And Dida, you say, in answer to the first question, let me grab the questions because here we go. What keeps you writing when you feel like giving up? And Dida says, giving up? What's that? I agree with that. I mean, I may not have written this last month, but it was not for giving up. I mean, the Tagnay Chronicles and all the other stories in Tagnay, and also in Genema Chronicles, in the world of Genema, these are stories that want to be written. And these are stories that want to get out, and characters that want to get out, that want to be known in the world, in our world, I should say. So there's no giving up on Tagnay or on Genema. Genema it's a world that I'm currently not writing in, but yeah, that I'm going to work on that as well at some point in the future. But for now, it's all Tagnay. And me saying hi to Published with Andy. Andida says hi to Andy as well. Andida says, but what keeps you writing? The story that wants out. Exactly. That's the same as for me. And you just need to write. Yeah, I mean, it is... How shall I say that? If you have a world that really inspires you and a story that really inspires you, in one way or another, it will always want out. And you may have put it down for a little while just to get your bearings again, to get your balance again, to find a new balance. But in the end, you will continue with the story again, and you will continue with the world and the characters, because you have no other choice. At least that's how I feel it. I have no other choice. For me, it's logical to keep on working on Tagnay, on Genema, on these characters and these stories, and there's no other option for me. And question 2, what is your definition of success as an author? I think I earlier posted that, but that's fine. Dida said, success to be read and then people tell they're rereading me. That's a dream. That is such a wonderful dream. I would love that to happen as well. And people reading my books, rereading my books, or listening if you are an audiobook person. Imagining the world that I have created, feeling that connection with that world, with my characters, with my stories. That would be so awesome. And hear people talk about it and be enthusiastic about it, and that would be so amazing. So yeah, I totally recognize it. And did you say, love that you're not stuck with a manuscript while updating? Yeah, thank you. And you say, okay, caught up. You go edit those last 25 minutes with a timer. Perfect. I hope everything went well. And oh wait, Michaels, you're going to try this month to get your book done. To get your book. One Crossroads of the Fates ready for beta publishing. Excellent. And yeah, the third question we already talked about. Summertime, wintertime. like I said in the beginning, Terranate doesn't really know that. My goals for the Golden Quill Month are quite simple. I decided to set no specific goals other than to keep track of my achievements that I reach this month. Because with everything that I've had going on last month, the last 6 weeks or so, 6 weeks, I think I said something else. Anyways, with everything I had going on mentally and physically, I think having the goal of keeping track of my achievements is already way good enough for me right now. And I'm not setting any other goal as just to have fun with writing, world building, and everything that I want to do and that I can do this month. That's pretty much that's my goal. And did you say no? Nobody would be happy with half an hour wrong. Well, I mean, they wouldn't be happy, but I mean, it's give or take, right? Right now, we keep on switching with the time, even though here in Europe, it was already voted that we should get rid of it. People can't seem to find a solution that satisfies both camps. There is no solution that can satisfy both camps. So, I mean, just partially satisfy them and be done with it. And then we won't have that problem of changing the times anymore. And, okay, so your time starts maybe not exactly as you would have liked, but that's either way not the case right now either. So, I mean, there's never a perfect solution. But I guess it's something we will have to leave to those in charge and probably never get a solution. Because they can't seem to find a way to make a decision on that. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's it for today. And did you say solution to the time zone thing? Listen to scientists, not the public, since many simply don't have a clue. Yeah, well, yeah. Basically, in this case, also not only the time zones, but indeed the time settings, daylight saving time, etc. Interestingly enough, apparently, from what I saw in the video, I don't know how scientifically proven that is. Apparently, here in the Netherlands, we were supposed to belong in the same time zone as the UK. I'm not exactly sure how we suddenly are not in that time zone, or suddenly how we didn't end up in that time zone back in the day when the time zones were defined. But apparently we were supposed to be at the same time as the UK. And then somebody decided that we would be in the same time as the rest of Europe. Back then it was the rest of Europe, or the continent. No idea. But I'll leave it to the scientists and everyone else, the government, to basically not make a decision on that. I mean, if Hannah Fry's investigation, research into all those reports is correct, then changing that time, especially in the summer, or especially in spring, apparently has quite some risks on your health, on accidents happening, and more things like that. Apparently, people are more prone to get heart attacks and things like that. So it's not a good thing health-wise and community-wise. So maybe they should finally do something? But I don't know. And did he say, scrambling things, the Earth rotates just the same, and it would be wise to not mess up what's natural. You think politicians are too reluctant to listen to those who matter. Yeah, that's always the case with politicians. I mean, they say they want to listen to us, to anyone who matters. And in the end, they will do what's best for the general population, and several groups will suffer from it. So, yeah, there's that. And is there ever a good solution? No. You can never satisfy everyone. Let's be clear on that. I mean, we as authors can't do that either. We write in a certain genre, but we can't write for everyone who likes that genre. I mean, we can. Speaking of me, and I know you did as well, we both write in the fantasy genre. But the fantasy genre is so wide. There are so many subgenres in that. And the audience in the fantasy genre is also a very wide audience. And you can never satisfy everyone with the book you're writing, because some people will like this, some people will like that. So it's never something that you can do, but that's part of the job. And I guess in a way that's also part of the job for politicians. But politicians are thought to make good decisions based on the advice that they get, and make decisions that are best for the community, be it your town, be it the province you live in or the state you live in, be it your country. In the end, it's all for the greater good of any of those communities. It's supposed to be anyway. But yeah, it doesn't always work like that with politicians. Did you say politicians need to get more selfless? They're not there to please, they're there to govern. Yeah. that pretty much sums it up. Yeah, exactly. So I'm curious, how do you do that? How do you find that in your world? How do politicians deal with things? Do they govern, or do they try to appease everyone or appease a certain group? How does that work in Aquarius? I'm very curious. If I look at Tergane, there are so many political groups, and in the Empire of Silk and Bamboo, for example, you will find how do you say that? You will find political groups that are opposed to each other, and each think that they are the ones who are in the right, and that they should be the one governing the empire. And the same goes for Dragon City. The political intrigues, the political relations there are also very I won't say fragile. Dragon City is less fragile than at least currently in Go Fly. And also partially in the main series. In a way, Dragon City is stronger, has a stronger government than Silk and Bamboo, and that's also because of the status that Dragon City has, and the way that the government, especially the head of the government, in this case the King of Dragon City, works, or is it how they come to be the King of Dragon City. And that is different, for example, from Silk and Bamboo, because in Dragon City the king is chosen based on several tests and input from from how do you call that? From the population. While in Silk and Bamboo, for example, it is inherited. So the emperor's title is inherited. So that's a whole other ball game with loads of complications. And did you say the politicians in your world tend to manipulate each other to get the result they want? That's a good one. Politics and fantasy is surprisingly interesting, by the way. Could be a rich topic for research. I think it is, yeah. Potentially that is. Yeah, I mean, if that's something every fantasy writer should at some point dive into. Of course, depending on the need of your story, let me put that up front. But if you are writing a fantasy story that takes place in several countries or several states, then it might be very handy to know a bit more about politics, look at the history of Earth politics, for example, and see how things work there. If I remember correctly, George R. R. Martin, for example, took if I'm correct, the War of the Roses as inspiration for his Game of Thrones novels. I know, what's his name? He writes historical. I don't know. I thought of something and it's gone. But yeah, looking at Earth history is a good thing. I mean, also I'm not only talking about relatively recent history. I'm also talking about history like the ancient Egypt, and also other populations, other civilizations that we at least know some things of, that are maybe even older. They can give so much information that you can use in your stories, and it's very interesting how things can work out and how it can. How shall I say that? How it can work out, but also how you can manipulate things into something that can work in your story. And researching history, researching governments is a very good thing to do in that aspect. So, for now, I think this is it, because I noticed that I'm finding it harder and harder to find words. As I said, I'm not there yet, but I'll get there. So, what's up this week? If everything goes well, the next Indie Author News show will be published Friday for you all to see. And next week I will publish the Flutter Nymph video. Like I said in the beginning, a little while ago, I just totally messed up my recording. That part, that more informational part of the Flutter Nymph, the concept design. That's what I was looking for of the Flutter Nymph, and it was just way too chaotic, and I found that it didn't have certain information that I really wanted you guys to know about, and I thought it was important to include that, but other information was correct, but I didn't really convey it correctly. So yeah, I'm rewriting that part of the script and re-recording everything tomorrow, and then I can finish editing that video as well, and publish it next week for you guys. And after that, I don't know yet. We'll see about that. Did say it's Easter holidays here, so you'll brace against whatever weather, you'll lock yourself in, and right, that's the plan. Excellent. And you were so looking forward to the Flutter Nymph video. Thank you so much. It's so wonderful. And I will also just share information with you all about the creature that inspired the Flutter Nymph. It's not an in-depth video in that, because that's not what the Flutter Nymph video is about. But just a tiny bit of information about the creature that inspired me, and a lot of information about the Flutter Nymph and about the creation of the Flutter Nymph. Both the concept design, how I worked about that, and the art design process. And that's the part I will get into with Andy Fraser. And it was such a blast to do that with him, and to see the design, and to see Riri, because specifically Riri has been designed, to see Riri grow, and it's so incredible. And I hope you guys really love her and love the Flutter Nymphs just as much as I do. They are such an important creature in Terganei, and Riri is very important in the main Terganei Chronicles. In Go Fly, she's not born yet, so keep that in mind. But in the main Terganei series, yes, she's there, and she's very important. And you will meet her quite early on in the first book already. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So I love that. So that's what we got looking forward to. I had one or two things. Oh right, that I almost forgot. Two more things that are coming up next week also is how gaming helps me in my writing process. I looked earlier into, I did that in a live stream last year, I think, about a year ago maybe. But I thought it would be fun to take a little bit of a deeper dive into how gaming helps me in my writing process, and then immersive writing sessions. And this time it's all about turtles, the beach and the ocean and corals and things like that. So that's another thing to look forward to. So that's all going to be on the planning for next week and the week after that. But Flutter Nymph video next week. And Friday, the second edition of the Indie Author News Show, with an interview with Murray Mullaney of Just in Time Worldbuilding. So that's it for today. I wish you all a wonderful time zone wherever you live, be it morning, afternoon, or evening. And I will see you Monday again. So I wish you all a good night. Bye bye.